and put myself in the stress-free mode. And it is enjoyable to actually to be in retirement. I wish all our people should appreciate that. Well, it is with great pleasure to welcome you all to this national dialogue, which is meant to brainstorm on means for addressing human rights barriers in the context of HIV and AIDS infection and vulnerability, especially with the emergency of the COVID-19 pandemic. For the past 25 years, UGANET'S mandate lies on the foundation that the law, legal policies, and human rights are critical enablers in influencing the success of health and HIV interventions intended to prevent further spread and also mitigate the adverse social impact and suffering caused by HIV and other health conditions. UGANET envisions, as our executive director has already alluded to this, a Uganda free from human rights abuses in the context of health and HIV, so that everyone can live a dignified and fulfilled life. Our goal is to reduce HIV and gender-based vulnerability through increased legal and social protection. UGANET continues to bring together individuals and organizations that are interested in advocating for the development and strengthening of appropriate policy and ethical responses to HIV/AIDS. This year has been a tough one. It has even been tougher for people living with HIV and AIDS, for people suffering or TB survivors, and other vulnerable and marginalized groups. Yet we do not even know what next year holds for us in as far as COVID-19 is concerned. We should be reminded that much as we face this unprecedented health challenge, it is more important to ensure that it does not become a human rights crisis. The human rights of all people should be at the center of the response to this pandemic, especially those who are most vulnerable, like the unemployed women, schoolgirls, of course sometimes the boys, people living with HIV and AIDS, TB survivors, and many others. As Mr. Seranja alluded to this fact earlier on, earlier this year when we were in lockdown, of course we got so many reports of abuses, particularly domestic violence cases. We are on the increase of women, of girls, and so on. I saw reports from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, reports from other NGOs like Action Aid, and so many reported increased cases. But of course, many cases were not reported for of course obvious reasons, like for example, how do you report a partner you are locked up with in the same house, unless you have a way out, either in form of other shelter elsewhere, a shelter home. Really it helped, and it was a good intervention because there are not many around here, and of course many women were saved. I'm told also that some men who had also been whose rights had been voted at home also ran there, but you don't have facilities. I think for now, for men, maybe it is something to plan for. Of course, as an educationist, also there was also a lot of concerns among the abuses among the young people, particularly the girls. It's unfortunate that many of our girls got pregnant, others had sexual harassments, and many forms of abuses. In fact, although maybe it is beyond this mandate here, but permit me to add my voice to others, to urge the authorities relevant, I think, to consider, reopening schools, because in my view and assessment, I think the schools are more structured than our homes, and children, to me, are safer there. I think at home they are more at large. And of course, most parents don't stay home, and therefore they can move wherever they are. And of course, it is also a fact we know that the abuses sometimes are just part of the home. The uncles will bring, the shamba boy, the drivers, and many of those. So all of those put our girls at risk. And maybe that's why we think, we imagine that a more structured institution like schools could be better abodes for our girls and boys. The reason for this meeting, therefore, is to discuss how best we can ensure that people living with HIV and AIDS and other marginalized groups are legally and socially protected by both the law and the communities they live in amidst the COVID pandemic, and even beyond. This solidifies what UGANET'S stands for, which is to contribute to a legal and social environment that supports other HIV interventions. What will be discussed here will be to the shape and direct our further interventions in the fight against right violations directed towards people living with HIV and AIDS and other marginalized groups. Once again, thank you so much for honoring our invitation, and I wish you best of stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf Nsubuga, for your opening remarks. I want to say that over the last couple of years, civil society organizations have been pretty much looking at donors, especially development partners from out of Uganda in the fight. But today we're privileged that we have a new donor, a new development partner, and that is from the private sector, who has joined us in this fight. And they're really, the fight against HIV is at the very core of their existence. Can I now invite Mr. Musoke Ronald, who is the CEO of Uganda Reinsurance, to come and give his opening remarks. Mr. Musoke, you're welcome. And we're so glad that the private sector has now come on board. Let's give them a round of applause.
Once again, good morning to you all. I've already been introduced. My name is Ronald Musoke, and I work with Uganda Reinsurance Company. I had shared a brief presentation just for you to understand where we come in to partner with UGANET. But if it's not ready, I can still go ahead and mention that it gives us great pleasure as Uganda Re to partner with UGANET in this fight against marginalization, against discrimination. And from the presentations that we've seen, they're actually very sobering. And what we do as Uganda Re and as a good corporate citizen is to partner with the likes of UGANET when we see anything that is negatively affecting the community and society. So we are glad that we've actually come on board to also demonstrate that we are indeed not happy with the marginalization that we see going on. And where we can actually be always ready to partner as we fight this cause, which we are hopeful will see an improvement in the way those who are marginalized are treated, or mistreated for that matter, by the authorities that have been already mentioned. So just for you to understand who we are a reinsurance company. We do not directly deal with you as customers, but we do so indirectly through the insurance product and services that you purchase from the insurance companies. So we offer financial capacity and technical capacity to those insurance companies. So we're always in the background. However, for us to also be able to demonstrate that we are indeed available in society, we would like to always come at the forefront when such forums come up, which touch the society. And because we do not believe in advertising as Ugandari, our value add is more in public awareness. And we believe this is one of the forums that can ably demonstrate that.